Mission, taking out the dark forces. Sue, King Smarty, can you explain your mission in some simple terms before we go into details? Smarty, my mission is a complete multidimensional cleanup, restoration, and liberation of Earth and the universe, carried out under the directives of Daddy, our creator, God, Allah, or whatever you want to call him. The rest of the universe calls him Source. Everything I do serves that purpose, exposing lies, removing darkness, restoring humanity and the planet, and realigning creation with Source. Sue, when you say exposing the darkness, what do you mean by that? Smarty, I mean exposing everything that has been a lie. Everything. History, science, health, finances have all been distorted so that the humans can be manipulated, get sick, and focus on their survival. They're slaves working just to survive so the dark ones can gain wealth, power, and control. Even the layout of the earth, space, the sun, the moon, weather, and the four seasons, all of it has been corrupted for power and control. Creation of war has been to divide sections of people, create dark and chaotic energy, control the land, and even create a source of food for the dark ones. They also have extreme financial gain. Division of the races, of course, creates hateful energies and hides the fact that certain races have been here a long time, creating and living in peace. Humanity has been living inside layered deception. It's one of the reasons that I lived a human life so I could see and experience this deception firsthand, gain compassion for others, and learn the truth. Part of my job is to reveal those lies so they can no longer operate. Exposure and elimination happen together. Sue, you said the elimination of dark forces is already underway, and even that it's done. How do you describe that phase of your mission? Smarty, the core of my current work is dismantling the dark forces, systems, and programs that have plagued humanity. The elimination of the Israeli Zionists, the Satanics, and the release of the chambers is happening instantaneously. The cabal is totally finished permanently worldwide. My authority includes the ability to evaporate because Daddy wants to ensure nobody goes without, and because I am here to eliminate all the dark ones who think they're in control now. Sue, you often speak specifically about children. Why are they central to this cleanup? Smarty, I'm cracking down on the human trafficking and child trafficking stuff because the cabal feeds off children. Literally. That's why they're being eliminated. The tunnels, the underground bases, the trafficking networks, those are primary targets. Every time they rebuild, we annihilate it again. All satanic and vampiric rituals, human and hybrid pedophiles, and the reptilian meat sources are exposed, eliminated, and their perpetrators handled. You know they've created a network for human meat throughout the universe. That stops now. In fact, I've told you before that one of the things that we didn't handle before when we came to liberate the earth is to ensure the safety of the children. We did some of it during past cycles and then went about our business. That's a mistake we won't be making again. Sue, you've also described non-human threats. What does that involve? Smarty, I eliminate dark entities directly, including what I've described as little spidery things or green spots in the skies. My crew hits and evaporates them. We have dark fleets coming in all the time and they're handled. All off-world weapons and technology is tracked and eliminated. My job is to eliminate all the cabal, all the different dark races, all the different forces doing malevolent things. Sue, does that include does that include Earth's systems like governments and finance? Smarty, yes. Corruption in all systems is ending, including the financial system. The fraud they've done is being revealed so we can shut it down. The so-called United States government, its military, and the three-letter agencies were designed for enslavement. Their collapse is already underway. The financial system that was built to create suffering is over. Everything built on lies will crumble and be replaced with systems that actually help people. Sue, beyond removing darkness, what are you restoring? Smarty, everything. We're walking into a new reality of abundance because we've always had abundance. My purpose is to restore everything, including the human gene pool. My job is to liberate the earth. Wow. My job is to liberate the earth. My job is to save everyone. Sue, how does the technology factor into that restoration? Smarty, advanced spiritual technology ends suffering. Crystalline chambers give people everlasting bodies. Every facility will have healing. There will be basic income and guaranteed income so nobody lacks ever again. Pollution and waste will be cleaned up using inventions that turn trash back into energy. Food, water, and air will be healthy and pure again. There will be time for everyone to pursue their passions and be creative. The dark ones were planning to use AI, artificial intelligence, to turn everyone into cyborgs. That's not happening. All of the major companies and social media companies are spying on the people, collecting information, recording conversations and actions. That's coming to an end. They thought they could get away with it forever. Sue, you've mentioned rebuilding specific locations. Can you explain that? Smarty, areas deeply affected by darkness are being cleared and rebuilt. The Vatican will be leveled. Places like Gaza, Maui, and North Carolina, where they've experienced disaster, will be taken under full control and rebuilt. This is about removing corruption and restoring land and the people. Sue, what about education and daily life? Smarty, the education system has to be bought and reformed. The worker bee 9 to 5 mentality is done. People will work together, help each other, and live in abundance instead of survival. Two, you lead massive forces to accomplish this. How do you describe your role? Smarty, I'm the enforcer of Daddy's commands. I'm second in line and I'm the one down here executing them. I command angelic teams, galactics, and armadas to get everything done universe wide. I'm also in charge of the wealth transfer. Everybody will be doing source directives, whether they come willingly or are forced by circumstances. Sue, you've also said that your lineage is part of the mission. Smarty, it is. Daddy is building an army through me. My children will be super powerful. That's why I don't have just one queen. My job is constant service, teaching people, getting them on board so we can eliminate darkness faster. More energy behind everything, like when the Jedi's reinforce my commands, will make the change faster. Sue, can you describe the galactic and angelic cleanup operation itself? Smarty, this is the most active expression of my authority as Supreme Commander and Galactic Overlord. The battles are literal, the force is physical, and the cleanup total. I've released billions of armadas of angelic and galactic forces. They are stationed throughout Earth, the galaxy, and beyond. They travel beyond dimensions, closing tunnels, clearing bases, and sealing exits used by reptilian, Draco, and satanic factions. They're out there universe-wide helping, making everything go faster and smoother. Sue, Antarctica has come up before. Why is it important? Smarty, Antarctica was a dark fortress for a long time, a former stronghold for dark forces. Angelic forces descended and annihilated every remaining threat. Those who refused to change were evaporated. Everyone was given their last chances. When Daddy said it was done, it was done. Historically, Antarctica is linked to the locations of a 2 billion year old Martian spacecraft which landed there after a war on Mars. The Martians subsequently placed the glass dome, now an energetic dome, over this district of Earth for protection. However, this location was later infiltrated, and the reptilians and the Cabal groups adopted it as a home base for their operations. Antarctica served as a location for cloning facilities and oh God, and various breakaway civilizations. You're going to be learning a lot more about Antarctica, its significance, and what's been happening there. Crucially, it was a base where giants were kept in stasis. These giants, resembling figures from Egyptian depictions, were preparing to attack the United States and Russia. We neutralize this threat by sending energetic frequencies to give them heart attacks, successfully eliminating about 2,500 of them. However, there are 4 giant kings from that area who have now recovered their groups and are assisting the light forces, though they remain unseen. We sent them to the Middle East to help with the wars there. These 4 kings were in stasis in various parts of Antarctica. The cleanup of Antarctica has been a key part of our mission. I released angelic armadas specifically to eliminate all threats originating from there. While the Cabal leaders and dark entities were eliminated, innocent individuals who were forced to work in the bases were protected and pushed aside. The angels literally pushed them aside, which some of them witnessed. Currently, there is video of that too, by the way. Currently, light forces have taken control of Antarctica. In the future, we plan to fully melt some of the ice there so that the area can be developed into resorts and used for tourism. Sue, you speak openly about evaporation. What does that mean? Smarty, Daddy gave me full power to evaporate people, places, and things anywhere in existence. It's literal. Matter and consciousness dissolve back into source energy. Entire armies can disappear in moments. The process is expose first, then dispose of those who refuse the light. Sue, you mentioned altering timelines and direct intervention. Smarty, we place angelic beings inside dark humans to shift their actions back toward the light. We've transported to the past and influenced events. You wouldn't remember those changes because they've already been made. Sue, you've described your approach as very direct. Smarty, I operate on an evaporate first mindset. I want this done. Sometimes I evaporate a few too many, and Daddy sorts that out. Those who shouldn't have been evaporated are restored by him. I got my instructions directly from Daddy, but sometimes make decisions that Daddy corrects for me. Sue, are any dark beings spared? You've mentioned places like Pebble Valley. Some are teleported off planet into containment cells or suspended in the ethers, like being inside thick foam or gelatin. We call that the stadium. They can see what's happening but can't interact. They'll never hold power again, but they can see what's happening and still have a chance to turn to the light. You've heard me talk about how some of them get a little too comfortable there. It's supposed to be punishment, where they contemplate what they've done and want to change. Daddy turned these dark ones that were too comfortable into milk duds. Okay, that's why we have milk duds on the back. It's just funny, isn't it? You never, ever in a billion years think of this solution. They're consumed over and over and over again, never getting to rest. How's that for humor and creativity? Those who can't be redeemed go to Pebble Valley, a very real place on another planet on the far side of the universe. Their consciousness becomes a rock. They sit there for eternity, reflecting on why they ended up out there. Extremely dark entities go to the unmentionable place and cease to exist entirely. Daddy decides all of that. Sue, how visible is this operation to humanity? Smarty, it's meant to be seen. The public exposure proves the light forces are real and unstoppable. The entire universe is meant to witness Daddy's justice. With the rise of the consciousness level, we're now seeing all of the dark and corruption exposed and then eliminated. The public needs to see it. Sue, you've intervened in real-time events as well. Smarty, during the LA fires, the dark tried to weaponize energy to trap civilians. I, re- I redirected it back onto the perpetrators instantly. That's how divine authority works now. When the dark ones attack us, we are easily able to pinpoint their location. Sue, we've talked a while about all the things done against humanity. One thing that you've really shown us is how there's an agenda against those people with more melanin, where the whites claim superiority. Can you explain that? Smarty, I've been telling you for a long time now, colonialism isn't just some chapter in human history. It's a tactic, a weapon, used by dark entities that have been controlling this planet. They've used it to suppress humanity, to strip away resources, and to keep themselves in power. Behind it all, you'll see the reptilian factor. They're the ones pulling the strings, controlling the human agents who carried out all the colonialism. Colonialism is their tactic, part of a larger draconian system designed to dominate. One of their most insidious moves was the creation of a pale skinned race, crafted to appear superior. That illusion of superiority was used to dominate and eliminate the original melanin rich inhabitants of Earth, the true majority on this planet. For centuries, colonialism has been their way of ensuring control and feeding themselves. These entities see humans as cattle, and they see Earth as a source of nourishment. That's why the melanin-rich peoples were persecuted and mistreated. The dark ones enjoy tricking and harming the people, especially those that are darker color. They know that the dark-skinned ones used to rule and inhabit Earth, and it gives them pleasure to degrade and discredit them. It was all part of the control system. Colonial forces deceived, stole, raped, and pillaged the people, their land, and the resources. Look what we've been doing to Puerto Rico, Africa, South America, Hawaii, and more. They stole resources, artifacts, and lives. And it didn't stop there. They struck deceitful deals trading technology with militaries in exchange for permission to abduct and experiment on humans. Their ultimate plan was to turn this world into one big slaughterhouse right out in the open. But here's the truth. That system is dismantled. The light forces are working to defeat the draconian agenda and erase its influence from the earth. All those colonial contracts, all those illegal agreements, they're all null and void. Lands that were seized, like Hawaii and Puerto Rico, and so many others, will be liberated and returned to the rightful people. My vision is simple but powerful restoration. We will reclaim what was stolen, and we will build a single kingdom without borders, a place where everyone helps one another, shares resources, and lives free from the chains of colonialism. That's the future we're moving toward, and nothing can stop it. I always say, I'm not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with me, and I'm going to be here for a very long time. Sue, you've shared so many videos about how historically royalty and rulers of the earth were black. Even the figures in the Bible were black. This has all been hidden. Now we're finding out that they are trying to destroy the original races here on earth and that they know melanin has very important qualities. Smarty, those with melanin are energetically special, carrying a unique power that the dark forces wanted to exploit. That's why they were attacked, persecuted, and harvested, because their energy was seen as valuable, something the reptilians could feed on to maintain their system of control. Of course, they also wanted to take control of the planet and the people. Sue, you've spoken about Puerto Rico specifically. Why? Smarty, Puerto Rico will be a free and independent country, transformed into a golden island and a model for Earth under Daddy's governance. It was an international. It was intentionally burdened with taxation, land control, and shortages to expose greed and lack of compassion. I have a place in my heart for Puerto Rico as my family is from there, but the people have really suffered due to colonialism. You heard me say that Puerto Rico wasn't always an island. It was a landmass. It became an island due to many planetary events. It was an important galactic center here on Earth. There are a lot of hidden bases there. That's a big part of why the U.S. decided to colonize it. I went to Puerto Rico in 2025 to the beach where my mother was when she received the energy from the golden cube the day before my birth. I touched the water there and opened some portals. You'll be seeing more about that shortly. Sue, what happens to those that continue to resist? Smarty, time has run out. Evaporation is final reformation. Some face tribunals here on earth while everyone will know exactly what they've done. Some of those that we've captured have perpetrated dark acts toward others throughout the universe, too. They'll also face tribunals throughout the universe for crimes committed across multiple areas. Outcomes won't be pleasant. Sue, why do these consequences exist? Smarty, these beings caused suffering deliberately. They manipulated, enslaved, harvested, and lied to gain power. They were warned repeatedly. Daddy gave them a lot of chances to choose the light. They never believed this was real until they saw me. Sue, is there any escape from this cleanup? Smarty, no. The million armadas cover every corner of existence. Underground, other dimensions, tunnels, none of it works anymore. Eliminations happen daily. What people see as arrests or resignations mirrors spiritual removals you can't see. Sue, how do you view evaporation itself? Smarty, it's mercy, not vengeance. Some are too twisted to return to any other way. Daddy gave them all the rope they needed, and now it's over. Some part of me used to feel sad because they're all Daddy's children too, but they've had so many chances. I now just do my job so the good people may live in peace. Sue, finally, what should humanity understand about this movement? About this moment? Smarty, this is a live demonstration of divine authority, not fear, but closure. When the dark is gone, peace won't need protection. It will simply exist. The universe is being rewritten into alignment with Daddy's will, and I'm here to make sure it's done.